Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are starting this match right now between, please ignore that scoreboard, between Vilmos and veteran player Dan Wallace, and also San Diego local. This is going to be a great match, folks. Dan Wallace is an 8, and Vilmos is a 9. Vilmos is also a current champion of the MZWST Tour. Well, I wouldn't say current, but he is he's championed one of the tour stops. He championed the Fresno tour stop at Diamond Billiards. And Dan Wallace is a former professional player who has been playing very well in this event. So we're very excited to catch this action. Race to 8/9 between the two players. So let's enjoy this. Ball down on the break. An attempt to cut that ball down the rail rattles, or I don't even think he rattled that ball, but Vilmos will be very happy to be taking this on. Second shot of the rack. Joined here also by Ashi Fachler.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, Dan? Daniel, do you have
yeah,
audio?
We
good,
you.
Fantastic.
Good. Welcome back, Ashi.
Thank you, thank you.
How's your day going?
Not bad, trying to avoid the police that are policing the parking lot from all the people parked there.
How do you like that? Pool's getting so popular that the police are chasing us out of the neighbors' parking lots.
They are.
Thanks, John.
They literally are.
And
Dan's miss on that one ball is costing him so far. Vilmos, of course, playing the U.S. circuit lately, trying to make a name for himself. Sorry, he's been playing in Europe for quite a long time on the Euro Tour.
And I'll use a stool.
Whatever you want.
We're just trying to rearrange the area a little bit.
Swing and a miss. What happened
Swing and
there,
a
Ashi?
miss. Well, see, Vilmos left himself tough on that 8. He kicked at it. He didn't play safe. He kicked at it, trying to kick it into the pocket, and ended up safe. But he didn't play safe. If you notice, by the way, if you look at Dan's technique, you'll notice that he has a very odd technique to some people. He holds the back end of the cue very loose and starts aiming off the target of his actual hit or contact with the cue ball.
Okay. Well, Dan will be relieved to
yes.
take the first game, gets on the wire, and
as a reminder, by the way, to everybody, this is alternate breaking. That means that the winner doesn't rack necessarily.
Yeah, we're going to. By the way, this is an 8-9 race, so Dan Wallace only needs 8 games. Vilmos needs a full 9 games. So we're gonna go ahead and make this an even race to 9. Dan Wallace already has 2 games now. You know, we're spotting him 1 game in a race to 9.
Right, and Vilmos is breaking. Notice that he tried to cut the 1 ball into the side pocket. And with that, left himself without being able to see the 1. Now he can either push or he can jump. But it reminds me of what Jeanette Lee said. She said the cue ball and the 1 ball never end at the same end of the table. Account for that.
Yeah. Another thing that always frustrates me after the break, it's always the last ball that rolls.
Yes.
The last
the
ball
one
rolling,
that
that's
2
the one
revolutions.
That's the one that hooks you from making another ball. Anyway, Vilmos has his hands full right now.
Because there's no shot clock, Vilmos can take his time to decide what he wants to do with the 1 ball.
It looks like he's calling a push, I think. I think he's calling a push. He probably just, push to the end rail and he's pushing to a kick shot here. And Dan's no dummy. He might just take this on. You know?
Well, you know, he's going to weigh the pros and cons of actually hitting it. It seems like he can see that hit behind it, and if he can, he'll leave the cue ball there and park the 1 ball on the other side of the table.
Absolutely.
Try and marry it to that rail.
Ultimately, what he would want to do is manufacture a kick safe. But
well, he left.
With that
he said to Vilmos, "Go ahead. You can manufacture that if you want."
Exactly. And that's Vilmos' plan.
That's the problem. That right there is the problem, that it goes towards the pocket. The thing is that with this table being as tight as it is, that's the only saving grace of that ball. That's the reason it didn't go in.
Yeah, Vilmos was very lucky there that these pockets are very tight. He didn't scratch. But Dan's got his hands full with this shot. Missed it by half a ball here. So
and still, Vilmos is eyeing to see if that 1 ball passes the 4 on its way to the pocket.
We got a question by Shark4488. How tight are these pockets? I'm eyeballing them, and I'm seeing they're very tight. They're 4 inches at the very least.
4 plus a tiny bit. That means we put 2 balls in them, and they can hardly fit in the pockets. These are very tight pockets. The table was set up by the Dominguez's, and they are known for setting up some very, very tight pockets, so you can be sure of that. Vilmos opted to cut the ball in, the 1 ball in, leaving him a good shot on the 2. He now is looking how he wants to get back on that 4 ball, because he's a bit straight in for what he wants to do.
Side pocket, watch out. No problem.
Draw to the center of the table.
Nice,
there we go.
Nice stun shot.
There we go.
And the rest should be easy.
You know the commentators jinx. The moment we say it's easy, somebody misses something.
Yeah.
But Vilmos is too much of a good player to let that kind of issue bother him, and he's about to get his first point in this match.
Yeah. Vilmos Fuldis takes his first game. It'll
2-1.
Be 2-1. And rightly so. Vilmos is from Hungary. He has been winning events since 2002, winning junior national events in the country of Hungary. And he came here actually with his friend Attila Bezdan, who's also a very talented pool player. And they've both been cashing here on the MZWST Tour. They've been spending quite some time in Las Vegas, and sort of like looking for action, getting into action wherever they can between tournaments. So,
in fact, I think they roomed together and rode together. They're on the road together.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
notice
somebody
the
I'd
power.
like to hear more about is Dan Wallace.
Notice the power
that
Dan breaks just as we're talking. Just you can hear that break clearly across the room. Dan used to be a professional player, and I think today devotes more time to other endeavors. But he
I hear he has some major wins. He has wins on Johnny Archer, on
absolutely
Nick Varner,
absolutely,
and some of the major, the big champions from
you name it.
from 20, 30 years ago.
When Dan was playing professionally, then he was absolutely beating everybody on the road at some point or another. But in the past few years, I think he tapered his amount of playing off, and yet you'll see in the way he plays, that stroke of genius is still there, but he found a tough match with Vilmos Folders.
Well, Vilmos is a very, basic, accurate, precise player. You know what I'm saying? There's no real flashiness to his game, but he is, a formidable opponent.
I'm always reminded,
a champion, a world-class player.
As a photographer, I'm always reminded that it's actually the ones that we would consider quote-unquote boring to be the better players. That means they're consistent. They make the shot time after time after time, same spot in the pocket, same speed. And while you'd call it boring, that is the beauty of this game sometimes. The ability to control the cue ball to the nth degree. Again, for those of you watching the stream, notice how soft, how loosely Dan holds the back end of his cue. And if you have a chance and you see the tip, notice that he starts aiming off the intended impact point with the cue ball and then moves into that point when he shoots.
Well, Dan seems to be making short work of this rack.
Although I think he wanted to be just a little bit straighter on that 8 ball.
Yeah, it seems you can already see a difference in their styles. A little bit more of a free stroke from Dan, whereas Vilmos is very disciplined, very rigid. He's got those European mechanics.
That's what I wanted to say. Is that's also the difference between the American players and the European players. The European players brought with them the mechanics, the precision, the punch shot, and the American players tend to play a little bit looser, different type of bridge, the closed versus the open bridge many times. So, yeah, you get to see a little bit more movement out of Dan's play.
Well, alternate break format once again, and Vilmos has to be very careful that Dan doesn't leap too far ahead and score, because that break format will make it tough to get a comeback, and he's hooked on the 1 ball.
Once again, nice break, nothing's touching, table open, but the 1 ball is hidden.
Trying to remove the turtle rack there.
And people were asking about the turtle rack in the U.S. earlier, right? But you said that not quite yet.
It should be available for pre-order sometime around the next event, hopefully within the next week or 2.
And they can find that on the Mezz web page, I take it, the Mezz Tour.
www.MZWSTtour.com.
Thank you, Daniel. To remind you, there's no shot clock on this, so players can take the time in trying to decide what type of shot they want to take. You can see that Vilmos put Dan in the jaws of the pocket, leaving him a long stroke to his next ball.
We're going to disable the iPad for about an hour. All right, so Dan's probably, I would assume he'd play a safety here. Looks like he went for it, doesn't it,
A little bit hard.
Ashi?
It does. It looked like he stroked to try and get it, indeed. He may have been distracted. And in doing so, I think he left Vilmos unable to hit the one ball straight in. Vilmos is walking around the table trying to figure out exactly where he wants to impact the one ball.
Yeah, Dan's fortunate here to have missed the one ball so badly. That happens though sometimes.
Sometimes the gods of pool
you
and
miss
gods of
that,
luck, right?
You know, yeah. I mean, everybody does it. Everybody does it.
There's missing it, and then there's missing it so bad that you actually get lucky.
Well, hey, you know, dozens of times has happened. Somebody misses a ball so bad it goes 4 rails around the table and in the same pocket that they shot for.
Right. Vilmos is looking for the
two rail kick. It looks like it's good.
Nice hit.
Was a good hit.
And
good defense. Very good defense.
Seeing the shot, but a good defensive shot.